Hey, hey, you know what time it is, y'all. Welcome. Nate Allbaugh here, high school football coach in Illinois. I'm a nobody high school football coach. I've been a nobody coach, but I've been a nobody coach for a long time. Which means, once you've done anything for a long time, there's a chance that you eventually know what you're doing. That might just have happened to me. I think I know a little bit, but only because I've been at it so darn long and I've been hooked by it for so darn long. How can you not get a little bit good? Hey, this is night number 2 of being live for the week. We're live just this week, although we'll be live one time next week with Trap Life. Tonight, we're talking install, defensive install with Ty Gower. Now, Ty Gower is a 3-4 guy, but if you're not a 3-4 guy, I mean, I really feel like it still applies to you because we're really talking overall install thoughts, installing a defense, what's important, how do you teach, right? Those things are important, being good at teaching your defense. I've had years where we've been very good defensively, but I've had several years where something was missing. And it's one of those things where you don't know, you're looking back and you go, were we off because we didn't have the right personnel? Because listen, sometimes you got good players and sometimes you don't, right? But as a coach, you can't ever just go, well, we didn't have good players, so I don't worry about why we couldn't stop X, Y, or Z. I think you worry about it all the time, right? And so I've had those years where we struggled defensively and I didn't know. You know, I knew we weren't strong personnel-wise, but was there something else we could be doing? What were we missing? What was causing us to not quite be there to make the play, right? Because let's face it, a lot of times good defense and bad defense is the difference of 6 inches, right? You making the play or not making the play? Welcome everybody to the live stream. I see Jason Eddings in the house out of Southern Cal. Welcome, man. Glad to have you. Darius Coleman. Let us know where you're watching from, Coach Coleman. Don't know if we've had you in the house before. You can see our special guest tonight, Ty Gower. We'll go meet him in a moment. He's in the chat. And myself, Jerry Payne out of Charleston, Illinois. And Charleston had a good season this year. Lucas Freeman out of Minnesota, Southwest Minnesota. Welcome, Coach Freeman. Glad to have you. Anybody else that's just getting here, be sure to check in. Let us know where you're watching from. I mean, that's the cool thing about going live, right? It's really just about, hey, there's Larry Allbaugh out of Georgia. These live things are way more about hanging out than they are about learning something, right? You're just hanging out, talking ball. You just kind of just getting your mind thinking about it. We like to ask you guys in our chat what you do. So we're going to ask your opinion from time to time. And then we'll get, the opinion of our guest. Speaking of our guest, let's go get him in here. Ty Gower in the house. And I will adjust my screen here accordingly. Speaker view, hide self view. How do I do that? Boom. There's Coach Gower.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Boom. Switch over my screen. Now we got Coach Gower in the house. Welcome back, Coach Gower, for night number 2.
How's everybody?
Hey, I'm going to check in a couple more guys in the house. Grant Trainowitz back from Lincoln, Nebraska. Welcome, Grant. Bobby Curran, Surfside Beach, South Carolina. Darius Coleman says he's from Memphis, Tennessee. Just accepted his first head coaching position.
Awesome.
Big claps for that, man. That's an exciting time.
What high school, Coach Coleman? It's been 10 years, but Memphis was one of my recruiting areas whenever I was at Interstate. I mean, so it was a while back, but Memphis is got some good players out there, and also it made me put on a few LBs too, man. But anyway.
Let us know, Coach Coleman, what school you're at. I took my first trip to Memphis a year ago. Visited Rhodes College.
Yeah.
Know the OC down there. Beautiful campus. Vincent Quinones in the house out of Houston, Texas. Welcome, Vincent. We got a good crowd tonight. Thanks, guys. If you're, whether you're just getting here, you've been here for the 50th time or the first time, check in. Let us know where you're watching from. Let's kind of recap what we talked last night. Last night we tried, it's kind of like this. We always have a topic of conversation. And you know how it is. Once you're talking ball, it kind of goes all over the place. But the topic last night was really night ones. From night one of summer, right? Maybe you're in pads, maybe you're not. Usually you're not, at least around me, you're not. Night one of summer, night one of season, right? Or night one in pads. So we tried to just touch on night one, and Coach Gower talked a lot about, listen, he wants to put a lot in, right? Like, we want to put a lot in. We want the kids to have to, here's kind of my interpretation of it, Coach Gower. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's like we want the kids right away to be thinking of the fact that we could be in several things, right? Like right away, get their minds thinking about understanding, I got to know which front we're in / coverage and what we're going to run. So just kind of like getting them used to the fact that, hey, we're going to do a lot of stuff here, guys. Like, we want to teach you well, but there's going to be a lot. Better get your brains going right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the deal. Is like, but it goes back to same as. It goes back to how many concepts, yes, you put in, and how many of those concepts can you do the same as, part A, part B, right? Now, I know there's some that are their own entity, right? There's if you've watched me long enough, we got our third down package where we all stand up. It's like its own entity, right? But when you're mixing and matching coverages, you're mixing and matching blitz pressures, pass, and blitz departures. There's a lot of correlations, a lot of similarities to the way we bring a 4-man rush and a 5-man pressure. We classify those differently. Okay, we say a 4-man rush and a 5-man pressure. Okay, but I'm going to talk tonight about how our 4-man rushes can turn into a 5-man pressure using flush principles. Okay, so that's kind of what's it called? A trailer, right? A preview into what you're gonna what we're gonna be discussing tonight. And you also check that on the store, Chief Pigskin.
I am typing up right now, Coach, so the guys can see what we talked about last night. I went fronts. We talked fronts. We got 3: 4-eye, 0-4-eye, 4-eye shade, 4-eye, and a 4-0-4.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct.
So I'm then gonna before I move on to what's next, because I want to kind of briefly touch on those pressures that you talked about. I think you talked about too strong and too weak, right? But let's talk fronts real quick. Give us an idea of, you said 90% of the time you're going to be in either 4-eye, 0-4-eye, or 4-eye shade, 4-eye. Give us an example of when you would use 4-0-4.
Yeah, that's our base. That's when we're going to start. You're talking about 4-eye, 0-4-eye, right?
Yeah, when would you use 4-0-4 though? Like go head up rather than inside shade?
Yeah, sure. So, if we want to change up, I say our run fits. We want to play like 2-gap principles across the board. Now again, if you weren't here last night, I said this. Out of 10 snaps, we're going to try to play that once, or maybe out of 15 snaps, we're going to try to play that once. We use what we call a jet technique, okay? And we're trying to play a 2-gap across the board. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Do we have 3 2-gap D linemen? No, I've never had that where I've been, okay? But I think it changed up, instead of playing, hey, I'm the B-gap player in the 4-eye, it changed up, hey, I'm going to jet the tackle, right? And I can play primary to secondary gap. Okay, I play primary B's. When the ball falls off, I can play secondary gap to what would be the edge C gap, right?
Give me an example of when you like that. Is it just we need a change up, or is there something specific that you like that against?
Yeah, it's something different where we're just calling it to call it, number one. Or 2, I've got a beat on run game, where if you're getting zoned, the back's away, we're going to get to basically a shade 5, okay, away from the back, right? So we're changing up who the fit player is in the front door B gap, right? Okay, so that would be something to where we're talking about primary, secondary. Well, I get double, or I jet the tackle, I get double with the guard to me, and I'm going to play the front side. I'm going to play into the C gap. Well, now that B gap becomes also our falling jack player, right? So that's one thing that either we change it up by call, I call it, or 2, I'm getting it based off run game tendency.
Okay. Well, over in the chat, I want to check in real quick. Mike Stauffer in the house. Mike, where are you from? Let us know where you're from. Mike has looks like he has a connection with Grant Trainowitz. Played ball with his brother which is really cool. Darius Coleman said he got the head job at John P. Freeman Optional School. It's a middle school. Tell you what, one of my favorite coaching experiences in my life was 3 years as the head middle school wrestling coach in Johnsburg, Illinois. I'm telling you, honestly, one of the coaching highlights of my life. 3 years, it was fantastic. Listen, it was all about attrition at the middle school. Like, I was just like, let's get numbers. They were like, everything was built around let's get numbers. Right. And we were hard to beat because we had more numbers than anyone we went against. I mean, it is what it is. So Mike Stauffer in the house, let us know where you're from. Glad to have you. Hey, anybody else in the house, let us know where you're watching from if you haven't checked in yet for the first time. We got a lot of states represented already. Coach, I'm going to put the next text box up here. And I want to label it. What would I label? So I got our fits. Now, our fronts, and now, like, would you call them your base pressures, your base blitzes?
Yeah,
when you say that 4-man pressure, what would I label that?
Right. So it would be like a 4-man rush. Okay.
I'm gonna call this rushes.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's the deal. It's like, we can like slant and angle out of it and get like true 4 down, but we stay in like 4-eye, 0-4-eye. We play base run flicks, okay? And we'll bring like our nickel, okay, our strong field outside backer from the field, right? Okay. And a long time ago, we were thinking, hey, the way to cover him up was, spin cover 3 to get 4 under 3D, right? Well, we found ways out of our 4-eye, 0-4-eye that what we do, again, I'm kind of giving you a little bit of secret sauce here. You can see this more on video, but we're going to bring that nickel sand from the field and we're going to cut the mic back, okay, and still play 3/2. So the nickel becomes like the die 5 technique, okay, or the surf, depending on how you want to teach it.
Okay.
The mic cuts to play the nickel, right? We're still playing 2 high, so it's still 3/2. And so we're pushing out, or what we call cut the mic. And we're going to cut our mic to the nickel, and that gives us 3/2. And we can do it because the mic doesn't have a fit, right? Because the nickel, let's say it's 2x2, it's doubles, and the nickel's off the edge, he's the C, the 4-eye's the B, the wheel's the A, the nose the other A, the 4-eye's the B, and the jack's the C. So we can cut the mic and still play 3/2, corners, whatever it may be, 2-eye structure, and bring the nickel. And we can do the same thing with the jack too. Again, if it was 2x2. Now.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask real quick, Coach.
Yep.
Vocab word check.
Sure.
When you say cut the mic, tell us more about what that means, to cut the mic.
Yeah, so cut is our fancy cute term that means to push, or some people, it just depends on how you want to terminology it. But the nickel's going, right? Our stars.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna cut or replace, okay, the nickel with the mic. He becomes the outside backer.
Okay.
Right?
How much would you say he does displace? Like how far out do you like him to go?
Yeah, I don't say he gets true apex, obviously balls on the hash, something like that.
Okay.
But he's definitely a cover down guy. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a cover down guy because, like I said, he doesn't have a gap on a deuce or a 2x2 situation.
And you would consider this one of your base 4-man rushes?
Yeah, and this is where, we install it day 1 and we really, really refine it day 2.
Okay.
And so you go back to your fronts. Like our fronts, we play the same fronts. We play the same odd fronts day 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that 4-eye, 0-4-eye, 4-eye shade, 4-eye, 4-0-4. Those are the 3 fronts you're getting. We're not getting to true even shade 3, front until maybe day 4. Like it's off the table. Like it's the non-talking point. Day 1, day 2, day 3. We're playing odd front, 4 eyes. Here we go for the first 3 days.
Okay. All right, so let me finish this list of 4-man rushes.
Yep.
Help me list it out of what you like. And when we're thinking like first 3 days install, I got the 4-man rushes. I got strong nickel. What else?
The boundary weak jack.
Okay.
Right. Okay, and that's day 1 and 2. Okay.
Boundary jack, which is the jack is the weak side nickel, right?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
He's the weak side, outside back.
Boundary jack, strong nickel, boundary jack. Is there any more listed out within those first 3 days?
The first 2, no. Like we won't bring the mic and wheel on a 4-man, right, until about day 3. Okay.
Okay.
One of the reasons, because I want to set that hard edge with an outside back, right? Okay.
Yep.
I want to set the 5 or the 9 or whatever, depending on surface, where it's guard tackle or guard tackle tight end, right? I want to set the hard edge with an outside back to begin on day
Okay.
2, right? Okay. Day 3, we'll dabble in like an insert, or a force fit brush with our mic and our wheel, but that's not today. That's not day 1. That's not day 2.
Okay.
Now, when we do bring our mic and wheel, is on 5-man, 303 deep fire zones.
Okay. Okay, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right now, help me finish out or complete my first 2-day install.
Yeah.
And what coverages would I list here?
Yeah, so on day 1, so go back to day 1, we're going to play 2 high structure, right?
Okay.
We're going to play palms, 2 read, everybody calls it, okay?
Okay.
But what we've got to a lot is playing press corners, okay? What I mean by that is you watch Narduzzi back at Michigan State, now he's at Pitt, or what, the Venables guys call 4-man, okay, where the corners are pressed on 1, right? And you can play man everywhere it goes. You can play bell, you can play mod, man on demand, or man on deep, okay, with the corners. But your safeties are driving 2 out and 2 vertical, okay? 2 out and 2 vertical. Again, that's day 1, and we're also going to obviously run it day 2. Now, the reason we install that is because whenever we start running 3, right, whether it's strong rotation 3 or weak rotation 3, it plays the same, okay? It plays the same with our safeties because to start day 1, hey, we play old school country cover 3 like I learned in 7th grade, right? Okay, vision on the quarterback, eyes to the cue, eyes on the ball, breaking the ball, right? But as we get better, and we taught, 2 out, 2 in, 2 out, 2 up with quarters, it's going to marry later with how we play 3 match. So we're going to bring a fire zone, but we're going to play, everybody's saying rip list, okay? It's not like what you see on rip list. It's our own version. I think sometimes as a coach, you got to create your own version, side note.
Sure.
So it's our own version of how we play rip list, where it's 2 out and 2 vertical. So we're bringing a 4-man, we're bringing a 5-man pressure from field boundary. We're rolling 3 this time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it plays exactly like we taught day 1 out of quarters. Hey, if 2 is out, you got it. If 2 is vertical, you're going to match it, right? So that's where we get to later, because day 1, day 2, man, we're playing vision drop. I don't want to say spot drop. It's not spot drop landmark. It's Q vision. Okay, it's eyes vision of cover 3 the first 2 days. Later, we'll teach that whole 3 match concept.
Okay. So right now, what I've got here, Coach. I've got our fronts, those 3 fronts talked about. I've got 2 4-man rushes. I've got strong nickel, boundary jack, and I've got 3 coverages, 2 read, press quarters, and cover 3. You feel like that's kind of a good overview of what the first couple days are?
And the true trips, we're going to play solo with poach. I think you have to put that in there. I think you have to type that because you're playing quarters off 1 and 2. You're 3 over 2 with the corner nickel strong, our strong safety, and then you're getting the mic. It was the apex between 3 and the end man, 3 and the tackle, the C-gap player, also in your 4-eye. And then the free safety is the poach, or the solo safety, right? Then the other one is what we call noose, okay, to where we're going to load the box. So we're 4-eye, 0-4-eye, the nickel's apex 3 and the tackle, the mic and wheel are in 20s on top of the guards, and the jack is, a 2x2 or whatever we want to put him at. We're playing a combination or a pattern read with the strong safety and the free safety. The corners are depending on how we want to do it, meg or mod on 1. Okay, so those are the big ideas coverage-wise of what we want to do daily.
All right, so I'm typing out 3x1 checks. In that, we've got solo, and your second one was what, noose?
What we call noose. And
okay.
Honestly, hey, side note again, you can check these out on chiefpigskin.com on the store.
So again, Coach is gonna share as much as he can. We're not holding anything back, man, but Coach did do 2 hours worth of videos that are on our store. That link is below. They're pretty incredible. I know that you'll pick something up if you guys enjoy this or you're interested in learning more from Coach Gower. Okay, so I've got a good little overview. Go ahead, Coach.
And then obviously we're also going to put 2 strong and 2 weak 5-man pressures. And look, they're NCAA pressures like anybody in America brings, right? So the strong ones are, out of any front we want, okay, those 3 fronts, we're going to run a strong side pressure with the Mike and the B and the nickel and the edge, the C gap, right? Okay, run that cover 3, vision break on the ball. And then we're going to do the same thing, the sister or the cousin or whatever you want to call it, to the opposite side. Now it's the Will and the B blitz, Jack and the C blitz, right?
Now, so are these 5-man pressures always coupled with cover 3?
For day 1 and day 2, yes.
Okay.
Day 1 and day 2, yes, they are. Later, they'll be coupled with variations of coverages. Yeah. And then I say the second strong and the second weak is now we're going to run where now it's an interior. So it's the same pressure, same fire zone, right? But the Mike is now the A, the nickel's the B, and the 4 is the outside. So we went from 4 to the C gap, right? Okay. And then the other one, obviously, Will and the A, Jack and the B, and the 4 is the outside player. Okay, so those are 2 strongs and 2 weaks for the day. And again, like I said, day 1, day 2, hey, we're rolling cover 3, single high, 3 and 3 deep. With that 5-man pressures.
I got a question that rolled in from the chat, so I want to hit that real quick, Coach. Yeah. Before I hit Coach Coleman's question, guys, if you're here, you haven't checked in yet, be sure to check in. Let us know where you're watching from. We got a great little crowd that always hangs out with us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know your thoughts. Listen, fellas, we're not experts. You're welcome to share your own ideas and tell us where we're wrong or what we're missing. But be sure to ask questions. That's really the fun of live, is that we're here and you're here right now. We're all living this right now. I'm in the basement in Tolono, Illinois, and Coach is in his office near Dallas. So Darius Coleman asks, when are the base responsibilities taught to each position?
Luckily, in Oklahoma and Texas, we're very, very fortunate that we can go out and just, non-helmets, non-pads, obviously. We can go out and we can watch film, and we can go through walkthrough and install, I don't want to say basically all year, but basically all year. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so, obviously we got our dead dates, our dead weeks, obviously, like everybody else does, but we're very, very fortunate here that we are able to work all summer. Obviously, you got your dead dates, but we're open, man. We're film. We're install, and so when they get day 1, and it's August 5th. Day 1 practice. They better know day 1 install at the back of their hands. And that's a side note too. Our day 1 install on May 1st of spring ball, okay, and then our day 1 install on June 1st of summer. And our day 1 install of August 1st of fall is the same. Okay. So I don't add more to June, July on day 1, 2, 3. Day 1, 2, and 3 is like we're gonna hang our hat on playoff time, right? That's the stuff that's never gonna leave us. So our day 1 May, day 1 June, day 1 July, day 1 August is all the same install and all the same structure.
Okay, perfect. Well, we got another question coming in. I'm going to try to touch on Coach Coleman's question. Also, Jerry Payne is asking about that drill from last night. Yes, we do have that drill. I was going to start with it, and then I forgot. So we'll end with that drill. That drill will be coming up in about 5 minutes. Excuse me, man. I got a little cough, and I was holding that one back for several minutes. Okay, so we will touch on that drill. We got that here. And that was the odd man out pursuit. So we'll touch on that. But before we get to odd man out pursuit, Darius Coleman asks a little bit more like, okay, what are some of the base responsibilities? So, Coach, let's give a fast, I'm going to go fast. I'll kind of guide the conversation here, but I'm going to go fast route through base responsibilities.
Yeah.
Let's talk 4I, 0, 4I. Those 4 eyes, what's the base, like, key, where are my eyes, where are my hands? What am I trying to get done in a 4I?
Here you go. So, first off, they got to know every as a 4I, not a 4, it's a 4I, right?
Yeah.
I've got to know I've got to be able to play the double, the zone of the double to me, the zone away, the pull by the guard, the pull by the tackle, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then sometimes people get countered the back block. A few times they'll back block the center on us, right? So we'll take the center back on the 4I, the guard back on the nose, and the guard down on the tackle down on the 4I, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so Those are really the first things, right? And then part two is how we're short stick and long stick in our 5-man pressure, okay, right? And then the third thing is what we call green dog on an interior blitz call, okay? Green dog is a fancy way to where if the back flares, say we're bringing an internal pressure, right, with our mic and our nickel, and the back flares to the field. Well, we do what we call a green dog call, where our DN is going to peel with the back. Right, so those are the first three things that we teach to our D line.
Okay, let's keep moving. Inside backers.
All right,
key,
inside backers.
Responsibility, fit.
Yeah. First off, alignment. Alignment to one back, both 2x2, 2 back, and 3x1. Trips. Okay, and sometimes that alignment is not the same. Sometimes we do what we call a boss or a backers over strong side of trips. Keys. We key the back, okay? We don't guard key, okay? I mean, primary guard key, we don't do that. I'm not gonna say it on here for public reasons, but if you want to talk DM and Twitter, I'll tell you why we don't. Run fits, how we nest or stack track fallback our fits, how we blitz replace, meaning when we cut, we talked about that, how we cut or push.
Stack, hold on a sec, you said stack track fallback.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a saying for inside backers. Stack, track, fall back.
Yeah, and sometimes you may hear guys like Coach Aranda talk about nest. Same idea. Okay. Where, like I said, we're 4i0, 4i. We're not gapped out run fits. We're not saying, hey, the mic's the B, the wheel's the A, downhill, ready to go. Okay. We don't do that. The third thing is blitz replace. Okay, is like I said, we're bringing the nickel and we want to cut the mic or push the mic, right? Mm-hmm. And the fourth thing is our 5-man pressures. Okay, 2 from the strong, 2 from the weak. So those are the inside backers. Outside backers, okay, our nickel jack alignment. Then we teach what we call a trigger or a static. Trigger is our fancy way for saying you become the edge setter away from the back. So if I get ball in the belly, I'm going to trigger to become the edge, C or D gap player, depending on what the surface says. If the back's to me, I'm going to be called what we call the 2-pop player. Okay, I'm going to 2-pop my feet and know I'm in conflict. Okay, we also work blitz departure. What that means is blitz path based off the back away from me, back to me. Okay, then we work our 4 and our 5-man blitz pass, blitz departures, and blitz checks.
Tell me briefly, what is the difference of my path back to me versus back away?
DM me and we'll talk about it. How's that?
Okay. Let's talk two shell. I don't know. I guess it's harder to talk like base responsibilities two shell, right? Coverage kind of feels like its own beast. Just tell me real quick, how versatile, I know you carry a lot of coverages. How would you say you spend more than 50% of a game in a certain one? Are you largely one, or is it very much you're gonna get a lot from us?
Well, that's where I was gonna get the day 2 installed, but we've got 3 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're gonna get, like I said, last night, there's one game we went in and I called 13 different trips checks, okay? And I don't mean cover 0, cover 1. It was too high or rolled a single high somehow, okay? So yeah, I love carrying a lot of trips checks. A lot of quarters checks, a lot of too high checks. Weak 3, strong 3. Okay, who's the invert player? Who's the buzz player? Okay, so that's kind of my philosophy. Playing secondary, college, coach secondary by trade. I'm a firm believer in you got to do some things differently, especially with how offenses have evolved in the passing game. You can't just stay in one high, and that's the whole argument. Middle field closed, middle field open. It's a great argument. It's a great debate. But I think you got to play both of them.
Mm-hmm. Coach Stauffer asks real quick. He says, outside linebacker to running back. What did you call that technique?
Yeah. So if the back is away from me, is what's called the trigger player. Okay. The back's to me. I'm thinking I'm the static, or what we call the 2-pop player.
2-pop. Okay. Okay. And that's because if the back's to me, I have a higher probability of, I can slow play it because first of all, I'm free to. I'm less likely at the point of attack and more likely being read.
Well, I'm a conflict player, and yes, the conflict player does exist in football. Okay. And because I know that mic on like zone or whatever it may be, he's gonna fall back. He's gonna stack track, fall back, or nest. Okay, rope it up, whatever word you want to use. That mic should fall back. So where we're playing 3/2 to twins, corner, nickel, strong. The nickel's out of the pit.
Coach, I feel like we just discovered what your next product needs to be. You need to create a glossary. You got to create a glossary. This is crazy. You got a lot of words here. And, I do this full time, and I got to work my butt off to keep up with you. Hey, let's go take a look at this drill for the guys real quick.
So we're going to get to day 2, and of course we run out of time, but day 2, how do we want to do this? We want to talk about this for 9 seconds or what?
Let's go. Let's hear what you have to say about day 2. We'll take. We're gonna go over 5 minutes. I don't think everybody can. If you're bored, guys, you can leave at any time. But we're gonna go over 5 minutes if you got the time, Gower.
Perfect. Day 2. So like I said, we're gonna refine our 5-man pressure, right? We're really gonna refine our 4-man rush where we're cutting the mic out, right? We're bringing the nickel from the field and cutting the mic and playing too high. Okay. But the day 2 is I'm focusing on double edge blitz. Okay, double edge. Playing like cover 1 and cover 0. Okay. So we're bringing 5-man pressure, double. So instead of like NCAA from one side, okay, we're doing 4-0-4, and we're bringing 2 edge players. Okay, whether it be whoever it may be, right? Nick and Jack, we're gonna bring the mic, or we're bringing the Jack, or how we're gonna bring somebody, right? We're gonna bring somebody and play cover 1 or cover 0.
Okay.
Where and that's something you got to implement, I think, and especially when you're playing 4-0-4, you got to set hard edges, both sides. So we're going to be more man pressure. Okay, we're going to be more man pressure on day 2. So like I said, we're bringing the 5-man pressure from the field and playing cover 3. Well, we're still going to bring the same 5-man pressure from the field and the boundary, but now we're going to run cover 1 today on day 2, right? Then, accompanied with that, is the day where we try to lock up the backside X. And everybody calls it special or stump or what, there's all those terms out there, right?
Okay.
Where I'm come from Oklahoma, and Stoops Venable's terminology is lock. Okay, to where we're going to play special to the field with our corners on 1, our nickel, strong, and Mike, our 4/3, and we're trying to bracket or do something 2-on-1. We've even had to play 3-on-1 sometimes, with the X on the back side, okay, away from trips, right?
Okay.
But with that, we also bring our weak side pressure, or our weak side 4-man rush. So what we do is we set a hard edge on the 4-man weak, and we're also able to play 2-over-1 with the free safety corner away from trips, right? Okay, and that's another thing that I'm really, really big on. Okay, if you don't get anything from this, here's what I do on day 2. Okay, and I heard this, nothing I came up with. Day 2 emphasis for us, okay, is also 3rd down. We want to implement our first favorite thing on 3rd down, 3rd and long, okay, to where it's like a dime package or a nickel package or quarters, where we're getting the nose off the field, and we're getting 3-down linemen off the field, and we're getting 3rd down. Okay, we're getting that sophomore kid who he may not be your top 11, but he's going to be a really good player. Okay?
Yeah,
it's his time to play the dime or the safety or whatever it is. So we're going to implement 3rd down calls on day 2.
I like that.
Calls, should I say.
Yeah, 3rd and long call, a personnel switch.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned taking the nose out.
Yeah.
What kind of front are we playing if that nose is gone? Just 2-4 eyes?
All up. Now, well, that's the deal. Is, we'll get a wide front. We're getting wide stand-up 5s. Stand-up 5s and 0. We may use that 4-eye. We may bring him to play nose. And it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. I'm not worried about run fits. We may get personnel. Hey, we've done a personnel for where it was a 0-4-7, a 1-5-5. Did one where it was a 2-3-6. Okay, it just bases on who's your personnel, who do you feel good about on the field on 3rd and 7, on 3rd and 8.
Okay.
Right? And so, hey, we may be all standing up.
Yeah.
And so some of you guys have seen that on Twitter, but 3rd down is so vital to us that I want 3rd down to be different. I want it to be a different entity, to where the offensive coordinator, he's got to work, where he just can't say, 3rd down is the same as 1st, 2nd down. Let's go home on Sunday.
Yeah.
You have to work on our 3rd down package. So that's day 2 in the nutshell. Very
Okay,
fast.
let me go add that real fast. Third down package. We got to have a third down package. I like this. This is something that this is something that I did not previously carry, a very specific third down package. And now in my new program that I'm at, I've been in it for 2 years. This will be year 3. We've been very adamant about that, and this is something that I'll certainly carry on as I move on. If that day comes that I were to move on, I would carry that on. Again, I'm a big believer now in that third down package. I've seen it work very well for us. Coach, let's hop over and take a look at this. I'm looking at your Twitter, so if maybe you want to grab your phone or something and take a look at that drill, which is the odd man out pursuit.
Yeah. Go ahead and show that, man, if you somehow share that.
All of you guys, first of all you guys that are that have joined us tonight, thank you so much. I want to say thank you. Also, I want to ask if you'd be willing to leave us a thumbs up. That sure helps. And if you're feeling extra friendly, hey, subscribe, all right? Why not? Subscribe. So appreciate you guys being here. Be sure to follow Coach Gower at Coach Gower on Twitter. Hey, follow us too at the Chief Pigskin. You can find us on Twitter. I'm kind of delaying here, Coach, to make sure that my screen is working out well here.
Yeah, you're working. You are working.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so here we go. We have got, and I'm going to kind of rework this one more time, scoot it over a little bit. And this is odd man out pursuit, fellas. All right. What do you talk us through it? We got our is this a D-line specifically or just a random group of players?
This is everybody. This is everybody. This is all defensive guys, okay? You kind of see me squatting down right there.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm on the goal line, and we're seat rolling our kids, okay? And you can seat roll them 1, 2, 3, 14 times, it doesn't matter, okay? On the go, when they say go, when I say go, okay, they're going to take off. And you notice there's going to be 4 dummies. They're on the 10, 15, 20, 25, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there's 5 guys. Now, this drill, I was kind of calling some dudes out, and there's actually 6, so there's going to be 2 odd men out, right? Because it was kind of one of those, call out your manhood type of deal.
Yeah.
But what happens is, so they see roll right, left. And when I say go, now one of those guys is going to be odd man out. See that right there on the 15-yard line. Run that back.
Yep.
That's what we want. Okay, we want dudes that are flying to the football and doing everything they can to try to tackle the dummy.
Yes.
See those 3 going at each other.
Yeah, those 3 guys go for 1.
Yeah, and the drill is I want to see who can run. I want to see who's going to run fast in football. And it's not going to be a great tackle. I know that, but I want dudes competing to go get the dummy. Okay, so like that number 2 right there, as you see him. And I love that. One of the best corners I've ever coached. But he wasn't a big fan of pursuit drill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Now, I loved him on Friday night. Don't get me wrong. But you see him at the end of this. Okay, he tackles it. And that kid's showing emotion and throwing the dummy up. That right there is awesome.
Right.
Okay, so you go to the next clip. There's another one that I think I posted, or it's on that clip. Yes. Okay.
Oh,
so,
is there? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize there was a second clip here late.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the second clip, if you can show that right quick.
Yeah, my internet has slowed down, but you can it's grainy, but you can see it.
Okay. So in the second clip, now it's kind of what's the word here? Now it's back to where it's 5 for 4 backs, right? So
yeah.
Odd man out. Okay. So let's let that kind of run. Okay. And so here we go. And I see this about to happen. So you'll see me kind of throw my hand up in the air because I can see that these dudes compete. And these guys are sophomores. They're puppies. Mm-hmm. And I can see them rolling. I can see it kind of waiting to happen. See those 2 right there. So you see me get excited.
Yep.
I don't know if you know anything about me. I'm not exactly a calm guy. But odd man out pursuit is something you do day 1. Notice, guys, I think this is actually day 1. Like we're in helmets.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a safe drill. It's competing. It's finishing the tackle. It's getting kids pursuit, right? And it's getting them conditioning, but don't tell them that, right? So odd man out pursuit is a great drill to implement.
I like that. All right, fellas. Well, now you've seen what odd man out pursuit is. I like that a lot. Coach, is that more of just like a early in the season type thing, or will you come back to that throughout the season?
Our kids, that's actually their favorite. Everywhere I've ever been, and that's you get late in the year, October, November,
Yeah, you're probably not going to be hitting that.
Whether it's November, actually, here's the deal, whether you have a good year, not whatever it is, it's like I said, safe, right? It's a good way to start, or in practice, it's kind of a good way to get it going. And so, we'll do that. Hey, we'll do that in spring condition, winter spring conditioning, right? And so that's kind of, I say 12 months a year. That's a 12-month a year drill you can do.
Yeah. I like that. And that's one of the things that is certainly kind of in my wheelhouse, at least especially on my team right now. That kind of seems to be my role, getting guys excited about chasing the guy with the ball. And that's right in my wheelhouse. I get very excited about that. All you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're about ready to sign off. Coach Gower, any closing thoughts?
Man, I'm honored to be with you guys. Like I said, would love to talk ball with you. I have very few hobbies. So talking ball is something I like to do, and learning and teaching and coaching. And it's just, I'm a coach kid, and that's just being with you, Nate. And if you don't mind, check out the store. I've got 2 videos on Nate's store. 4-man rushes and 3-by-1 coverages that you can implement. It's odd front base, okay, but it could be maybe a personnel package for you. Where, Coach, I'm a 4-down, we're a 4-3, we're a 4-2, or it could be a personnel deal, or it could marry, and lots of those 3-by-1 coverages married to an even front. Okay.
Yeah. The 3-by-1 coverages, and again, like. He talked about that game he went in and had 13 checks. I mean, I feel like there's darn near 13 3-by-1 checks in that video. There was a very long list.
I didn't get quite 13, but there was a few.
It was a long list, yes.
There's a few 3 high safety clips in there too, if you're interested. But yeah, and hey, old 4-down guy. Hey, was at a place for 2 years, another place for 2 years. So I was in a 4-down front for 4 years, man. And you come from Oklahoma, at OU, they were in 4-down painfully. They were over pirate, and so we can talk some 4-down if you want. But man, it's just honored to be with you guys. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm don't have all the answers, but I'm in search of them. So let's get together and let's find some answers.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, Coach Gower, very excited about the game. And if you also are excited about the game, this is the kind of guy you guys need to get hooked up with. Hey, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We're back tomorrow night. We'll continue to talk a little install. We did promise to talk tomorrow night a lot of 3-by-1. So we want to keep that in mind tomorrow night as we get to tomorrow night. All that I have on the board here, all this install stuff will stay up. That's above my head. And maybe we'll add a little bit to it tomorrow. But hey, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. Appreciate your time, guys. We hope to see you tomorrow night. We'll see you, Coach Gower.
Thanks, man. See you.
Night. Thank you so much. What a great night. So fun and so good for me, man. It's just like practicing speaking another language. You know how it is. All right, guys.